Should you write a book? Well, I'm a ghostwriter, so I'm going to say yes. But how do you really know if you should write a book? How do you even know if you're ready to write a book? Hi, I'm Naomi. I've been helping my clients write and publish their books for 19 years. And this is one of the first questions those clients always ask me. So I'm going to walk you through it the same way I would walk one of my clients through it. And that starts with, do you have a story? Is there something you're passionate about? A message you want to share? Some trauma you want to get out? Do you have an urge to save others from making the same mistakes that you've made? Do you want to change the world for the better? If you're feeling compelled to tell your story, there's probably a reason. And notice, I didn't say, do you have a good story? Or do you have a unique story? Or do you have an original story? But do you have a story? If you've got a story, there's probably a good chance that you should write a book. Next, do you want to share your story? Now, this one might feel a little bit like the last question that I asked you, but there's a little bit of a difference between, do you have a story? And do you want to share that story? You might have a story that you want to work out, but you could do it through journaling, which would not require you to write a whole book. So if that's the case, if you want to write down your story, but you don't really want to share it, maybe a journal is what you're after. And are you ready to hear feedback, either good or bad, about your story? Because you're going to get it. You're going to end up hearing feedback from alpha readers, beta readers, editors, proofreaders, agents, publishers, and not all of it's going to be good. Are you ready to hear some of the bad as well? If you're just looking for validation of your story, it's probably not a good idea to write a book. Just go seek the validation. If you're not ready to hear other people interpreting your story, it's probably not a good idea to write a book. Get into speaking instead. And finally, the last thing I want you to think about is, are you ready to commit to your book? Writing the book takes a pretty heavy investment of either time or money or both. Once you sit down and start writing your book, you could be looking at months, maybe even years before it comes out and you get to see the fruits of your labor. Not to mention that during that entire time, there's going to be parts that you just don't like and you're not going to always feel motivated. There's going to be endless drafts, or maybe you won't like the schedule. You're going to be struggling with your self-doubt and your self-criticism through the entire process. There's going to be scenes that you just question and you don't like. There's going to be words on your page that you don't feel are doing justice to you. And yet, if you're ready to commit to work through all of those anguishes to share your story, then yeah, sounds like you need to write a book. And I know this feels like a huge and daunting task, especially if you're new to writing. And how are you going to fit it into your already busy schedule? And isn't going to cost you a lot of time and money to write a book? And what if you're not really a writer at all? Can you really write a book then? Don't worry, you can totally write a book for free. You can totally find the time to write a book. And the good news is, if you have any other questions, I made a playlist to help you out.